January seems to have gone by in an absolute blur, but has also felt like the longest month ever. I'm sure you're probably the same. So I think the first thing is to probably apologise because I bailed on Doomcross, which I'm sure a few of you were probably a bit disappointed about. I just ran out of steam and capacity at the end of this month, and yeah, I just ill, horrible, it just wasn't going to happen. And I wanted it to be a great day out for everyone, and if I was just there grumpy and not really wanting to ride my bike, then I can't pass that on to you. So yeah, apologies. So I'm looking at a new date, which will be March sometime, depending on what else is going on with my family and everything else. So stay tuned, and anyone who's entered already, obviously your entry is still valid, and if you want to come and you missed out, get a postcard into me. I'll put a little post up with all of the details you need to enter, and yeah, we'll get that sorted. And Doomcross will happen, just when I've got a little bit more energy. So other than that, what have I been doing? Well, we've done a lot of electrics in the shed, which we'll probably show you at some point soon, just to make everything a little bit easier for me and a bit safer. And then I've also been putting a lean-to together between our house and my shed to give me some cover for bikes, for your bikes and my bikes, somewhere for me to work outside, somewhere for me to wash things. So we'll have a look at that as well, probably. I'm really pleased with it because it cost me all of the price of the screws, I think, to put it all together. All of the wood came from pallets that I painstakingly chopped up and split and broke down. So yeah, that's really well, going really well. I just need to get some felt to put on the roof. If you know a felt guy, let me know, it'd be handy. So yeah, we'll have a look at that. And then I've also had a handful of new tools turn up, some of them necessary, some of them not. So we'll have a look at those. I think that's it for this episode. So I've done the apology for Doomcross. Stay tuned, it's going to be out again in March. We'll look at the tools, and then we'll look at the lean-to, and if there's anything else, we'll do that as well. Cool. So this is the electrics. It's probably not that interesting for you, but I'm really pleased this is the first bit of electrics I've really done, apart from changing a few plugs and socket fronts and stuff in our house. So it's a bit of a learning curve. Fortunately, and I gave a shout out to him on Instagram, our next door neighbour Dave, lovely guy, loads of stories to tell, great character, and he's also an extremely competent electrician. So if you're in Brighton and you need someone to do electrical things, I'll give you his number because he's a top guy. So he came and had a look at the shed and said what I may or may not want to do, taking his advice, and here we are. So we've got a load of new sockets, and then this wiring is all just, yeah, to make it all work. And the best thing is, after I think 3 or 4 years of just having an extension lead with my lights on, I've now got wired lights with a switch. And that seems very inconsequential, but oh, it's wonderful. It's great to be able to just turn the lights on, turn the lights off. And I'm going to do a little bit of a sweeping pan. It's a bit shaky. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light fittings throughout the shed, so it's a lot brighter. And I love the cosy aesthetic of this little place, but you need some light to be able to know what you're doing, and yes, that's a big improvement. And then I've also got the sockets, got that one there, and then there's one down just behind the work stand which has got a USB front on it so I can charge my phone and things. And then I've got another socket for the parts washer, the grinder next to it, and then there's another one underneath the bench for my hoover and my compressor, and for the vacuum pump, for the suspension pump, or the vacuum bleeder, which is almost ready. So this here I found tutorials on how to do on MTBR. The internet is a wonderful place for this sort of thing. Basically what this will do, once it's all hooked up, is this will be filled with oil, and then there'll be a line that's connected to the compressor, which is this one up here, and then there's this one here which is on the vacuum. So when we go to bleed a shock, here's one that I've got to do later, we push the oil in with the compressed air, and that pushes the oil out, and then like you would with syringes for SRAM brakes, where you push and pull, or with a reverb, same thing, push pull with the syringes. This is just a mechanical way of doing that, and it's far more efficient, far more accurate. If there's any air where it shouldn't be in your suspension in the oil, then it means that it won't function consistently. So this will rule out all of that inconsistency, which is what we want. That's perfect. And that's been really fun to do. Again, like teaching myself new things, getting a few odds and sods. This gauge is just quite cool. Got all these little levers, and a pressure blow off, so it's all nice and safe. And then also we've got just there, that is my nitrogen feed. So the tank is there. I was doing a bit of that the other day, and then the hose comes up there to fill the air, fill the nitrogen from this here. And then we've got this cool little thing from Motion Pro. This is my first of some new things. And this gives you an accurate reading for filling nitrogen into rear shocks, which is very exciting. So that's that. So that's the kind of hardware that I've done. So we'll look at the tools, and then we'll go from there. Right, tools, and also a bit of a forewarning. You might have just had the recycling truck go past, and now we've got tree surgeons in the garden up the road. So the sound is going to be a little bit muffled, but hopefully it'll be right. So bear with me with that. So new things. So I've already extolled the virtues of these little guys. Knipex plier wrenches. Just buy some. Just buy some. I don't even care if you've got nuts or bolts that you do or don't need to undo in your house or your bike or whatever. They're just amazing. So these are the little guys. I've had these for like probably about 18 months, 2 years. And they're just a way more accurate way of having an adjustable wrench, really. So I mean, I've used the Baco ones for a long time, and again, they're a lovely thing, work really well, nice and accurate. But these ones just give you a little bit more, because you've got this section and you can tighten it down. You can see that move. I just did that out of shot, didn't I? So it means that you can lock the wrench down to the size that you need, but then you can still just nip it up a little bit more, so it just stays super tight. So I've got the little ones, and then I've just taken delivery of these, which is the big brother or sister to these ones. So there's just a bit more adjustment, a little bit more size that you can get out of those, and then obviously because it's got a longer handle on it as well, it's a bit more leverage. And yeah, for like suspension bits, they're just wonderful, and just for other things that you might need to use an adjustable wrench for. And Knipex, I've got a little bit of a Knipex selection up there. If you want to like cut something, hold something, like these, they're just there's no substitute really. They're fantastic. So there's some pliers there, side cuts, these really cute little bolt croppers. Came across those at Robbie's shop, Freedom Bikes, rest in peace. And then these are for gear outer cable, and I think they're cable shears, or cable cutters as opposed to side cutters, and they cross over each other. So, so they give you a way cleaner, crisper cut, which is what you want with gear outer cable. If you've ever tried it with your side cuts or with like the cutters on pliers, you know that it's just a hiding to nothing. It's not good at all. So yeah, get Knipex in your life. So got something new from Park, or new to me, one of their precision screwdrivers, or precision driver. What's that? That's a DHD3. That's a 3mm headed hex key, and if you're doing bits on bikes, you'll notice that B-tension screws, derailleur limit screws, they're all switching to hex fitting, and with the standard Park keys, or whichever one you want, the long end on those has got a ball on it, so you don't get the kind of the full grip of the grub screw or the bolt, so there's more chance of rounding it out. And then also it's kind of for doing twisty movements, engineering terms, that just doesn't feel so good. Whereas with this, it's got that familiar like screwdriver. It's just a little bit more efficient and just a little bit nicer to feel in your hand. And then the other thing, if you've done anything on TRP Spire brakes, I don't think I've got one lying around. They use independent pad adjust, and if you're trying to adjust a rear brake especially, to get to that adjuster, you have to get the key through the spokes of the rear wheel, and maybe the cassette and things like that. So this longer blade on this gives you a bit more of a chance. And again, like, you sometimes need quite a bit of oomph to get behind that, and I'm always a bit worried about using a ball end for that. And in the past, this is a little tip that I would probably give you if you start knackering your ball ends on your Allen keys, is you can grind them down so that they're just square, and then you get more purchase. You lose the ball end, but it allows you to keep the key working for a lot longer. This one I've had, I don't know, longer than my shop's been closed for, so that was 2019, so this is 4 or 5 years old, and having this on the end, it's just meant that it's stayed serviceable. I haven't had to buy anything new. So that's that. Getting quite a pile now, aren't we? And then Abbey tools, good old Abbey. I showed you their seal press last time, I think. So these are specific wrenches, nice, super tough, sturdy, ground edges. So these wrenches are for, this one's for the reverb, to pull that apart and not mess anything up. And then I've got this one for a charger, a RockShox charger damper. This is for the Charger 1. The Charger 2 damper wrench is out of stock at the moment, but I will be getting one of those when they are available. And then the last thing that turned up, I think yesterday, some shaft clamps for RockShox forks and shocks. So you've got kind of soft jaw type thing, but because it's brass, it's nice and soft. It's not going to score anything up. It's not going to damage anything. I mean, that's just cool. Like, there's so much weight to that. Nice shiny bit of brass there. So that's the tools. I don't think there's anything else that's new that's come in. So that's those. So in summary, Knipex. Get yourself some Knipex. And then, yeah, this has been great so far, this 3mm. I'm tempted to get some other sizes. I've got a PB Swiss 2.5, which again is coming on, getting on in years, but it's got a plastic handle. I had a 2mm, and through just repetitive use the handle came away from the blade, whereas with these, because it's all metal, I think it would probably be a bit more serviceable, last a bit longer. So yeah, these things are all available through your local bike shop or decent tool outlets. I will also put a link on my YouTube feed for my Amazon affiliate links, so if you go on to Amazon and buy any of this plethora of things, then I will get a little bit of a kickback, which is very appreciated if you want to do that, if you want to help me out. So I think that's it. I'm just looking around just to make sure there's nothing I've missed. I think we're good. So let's go and have a look at this lean-to, and then I'll go and do some servicing, and you guys can carry on with your day. So that's the shed. It's outside. You might not have seen that. This is one of Dave's suggestions. Go on, Dave. So it's just to run the extension, the power lead along this wire, just there, and into the shed to keep it out of the way so I don't snag it on anything. It was a bit hodgepodge before, so that's nice to neaten that up. So that's the shed, and then as you can see, put this little lean-to on. I've got the tarp on it at the moment. Again, if you know a felt guy, not felt the bikes, obviously, that wouldn't be much use. And then this nice little window, that nice bit of feather edge board there, I think that's what it's called. This is nice to do a little bit of joining, a little bit of pretend to be a carpenter. It's good fun. I'm going to move the tripod over a bit, and then you can see I've had this wall mounted stand, repair stand, for a little while, so that's up there so I can wash bikes. The hose is just next to it. I've got a hot feed of water that at some point I might put in, because as a friend said to me, after a cross race you don't want to wash your bike with cold water, and that's a very luxurious first world problem to have, but I probably agree. Washing bikes on a cold day, you don't need freezing cold tap water to do it. So that's what I've been up to. As I said, it's been great to just use pallets and bits of scrap wood. That piece of glass came from a neighbour that's in the window. Reduce, reuse, recycle, like push yourself, change your kind of not attitude, but you know, other things you can teach yourself. Are there skills that are eluding you? Is there something you could just give a bash and have a go at? The level of accomplishment is vast. I'm super pleased with that. So yeah, go and try something. Go and buy yourself some new tools, and yeah, let me know if I can help or if Dave can help. Don't forget, Dave, Brighton electrician, lovely guy. So yeah, that's that. So, there we go, there's the chainsaw. So thanks for coming along. That's been a bit brief today maybe, or maybe it's been the right length. I don't know if I ever waffle on too much. If you want to hear more waffling, let me know. Next time, what are we going to do next time? Well, I think we'll probably end up having to see what comes in, what bookings I have, what jobs there are. I've got this shock to do this afternoon, and I do need to get my crossbike ready. So maybe when we've got some time, I'll take you through that and talk about cross bikes for a bit. They were the originator of the gravel bike, and I think an unsung hero with mountain biking and road riding. Nice crossover between the two. So let's do that next time. Look after yourself, get out riding, buy some tools. Yeah, I'll see you soon.